Hi guys, how are you doing? It's Ahmed here in your view cam. Today I have another German car for you. It's a 4-door saloon compact. It has a sleek design, and it's this, guys. It's a Mercedes CLA Sport 180 Auto 2014 model. We're going to be reviewing this today, giving you the tour of the inside, outside, telling you a bit about features, the design, the quality, the engine, transmission. So please don't forget to follow us on Instagram and YouTube, and we'll get more of these cars reviewed as soon as possible and upload it onto YouTube. Alright guys, we're going to start by talking about the front grille, the front look first. Now just to bear in mind guys, before I move on, that this particular car is not the AMG model, so it doesn't have the AMG kit. And what I mean by that, there's no AMG bumpers down here or the side skirts. However, this is a sport model, so it's quite sporty at the front. I mean, starting off these grills here first, it's quite sporty, it's quite low down. This massive Mercedes logo here, it's really massive, it does really stand out and over here. This grill here and these chrome effects, that looks quite sporty, quite premium. I do really like that. Now these lines here, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's quite sporty, comes all the way down here, finishes at this grille first, much like the Audis. Now which brings me on, this particular car's main rival is the Audi A3 Saloon. So let me know which of the two you guys like the most, put your comments below. Anyway, move on. Now the grille, this particular arms and headlights here, now it doesn't have any AMG headlight, daytime running lights. However, they are massive and it's pretty cool, and it sort of finishes everything right there, which is nice. I do like that. This car does have parking sensors, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is good. You need that. That's pretty handy to have. I do really like that. So moving on, if you want to come down here guys, the main color of this car, as you can see, is black, so it's quite attractive. I do really like that. I don't think it's metallic, but it's black. Now this particular model is on the 16-inch alloy rims, which is quite good. It's not that big, it's not that small, it's an average size. That's pretty cool. Now one particular thing I do like about this car, because it is a sports car, is once you open the car, you see that flameless windows. That's like, it's right here, and it has it over here, frameless windows. That's pretty cool. I do really like that. Which is good to have. I do really like that. I mean, this particular car, I mean, because it's a compact saloon car, it has a sloping roof down here. See that? So that may cut into headspace when you're inside, but we'll talk about that when we're inside. But it does, this is quite narrow, this window here, but it should be okay. We'll talk about that later, guys. Come on, if you want to follow me here. Now getting to the back, I do really like this. If you want to come here and focus the camera here, I do really like this headlight here. It's really cool, nice and rare. It's like a swooping effect. I do really like that. That's pretty cool. Now to open the boot, guys, it is electronic. Obviously you press the boot button and it opens automatically. That's great. I do like that. I mean, you can always open it from the button, but you can always open it from remote control. That's nice. So if you want to come closer, now this particular car, the actual boot itself is not a square shape. It has this curved thing, so you may struggle to fit larger items in here. So this may be a disadvantage or downside of this car. But anyway, so this particular car, I mean, the boot is nice. I mean, it's not that deep compared to its rivals, but you can fit quite a lot of stuff in here for shopping. Going to the supermarket, bags, baby prams should be okay, but it's not that deep. But it should be sufficient, for most families. That should be okay. So what we're going to do, guys, and so we're going to go in the car and we're going to tell a bit more features of the interior, quality, features, the cabin, and everything like that. Thanks, guys. Right, guys, in the car now. Now, my first impression of sitting in this car, in terms of interior layout, is pretty good. I mean, everything's been laid out quite nicely. However, as I said, this is not the AMG model, so some of the layout is going to be pretty old. But the AMG model, the 2019s of the CLA, the 2020s, is much more improved. Mercedes have enhanced that significantly. But today we're going to focus on this model. I mean, it's a sport model, so there are a few things that I do like in here. For example, I like this, and these vents here. These are, you can move them about. It looks really cool. It's like an air, like a plane sort of thing feature, which I really do like. That made of aluminium, it's got quality feel to that. This I think is made of plastic. But above all, these look pretty cool. I do like that. There's 3 here, there's 1 over here, and there's 1 over there that I really like. However, in terms of quality, I mean, it's soft here, soft, soft here, there's soft here, soft here. However, you know, this, I mean, it looks nice, but it's made out of plastic. There's, you know, quite a lot of plastics around, but obviously this is not the top of the range model, so there are going to be a few plastics here and there. But above all, the layout is pretty nice. You know, when you see it in here, you do feel a sporty, you know, vibe into it. You know, that is pretty cool. I do really like that. Right, guys. Now with the seats, I mean, the seats are not that comfortable. I mean, it's a bit hard. However, it's so partial leather and it's partial cloth. So these sides made out of leather, but the center seat itself is made out of cloth. So, you know, having these sort of side pillars here, you know, do sort of hug you in to make, you know, to give you that sportiness feel. But which is okay. It's not bad. But maybe on long distances, guys, you may feel a bit tired because it's not that soft. But it's okay. I mean, you do have adjustments for this, for, you know, for back, up, down, and all that over here. It's controlled on over here. I mean, it's not electric, but you know, so the controls are there. Now moving on to the steering wheel, guys. Now the steering wheel itself, it has a solid feel. It has sports grips over here, which I'd like. It's pretty good. So obviously the Mercedes logo here is pretty cool, like that. And obviously this feature here is made of aluminium. You know, it does give you that nice. It's a nice touch. I like that. On the right hand side, you have all your controls for your telephone, Bluetooth, volume, and all that on, so and off. On the left hand side, you have all your controls for your trip computer, multimedia, audio, music, and all that. So that's great. This car also has, guys, the paddle shifters over here. See these? They're not made of aluminium, it's made out of plastic. But above all, so it is there. So that's great to have. So it's a nice sturdy feel. On the left hand side, guys, you have your indicator controls here. And also, you know, your so your wipers for back and front to control that's over here. On the right hand side, guys, you have your gear lever, and that's one thing that I like about this car, guys, is the gear lever is here, it's not here. Normally the gear lever, obviously for most cars, as you know, is here, but for this particular CLA, it's over here, which frees up space here, which I do really like. So that's pretty cool to have. Now the center the trip computer. So the trip computer for this car, I mean, it's not digital, I mean, completely. However, there is a trip computer in the middle that shows your, obviously, you know, in the car's fuel, how much fuel there is electronically, so how many miles there is. Also shows your, you know, so your Bluetooth option, who's calling you, music and all that. You can see that via there. So that's pretty nice to have. Right, guys. Now up here, guys. Now your this car does have so lights individually. You know, should you want to turn them on. It does have an SOS connection. You know, should you get lost. I mean, the buttons are over here. That's nice to have. The rear view mirror is not square shaped, which would be nice to have. But anyway, I mean, it's fine. You can see in your at your back. It's not frameless either. But again, that's not an issue. I mean, because this car at the back, you know, there's a sloping effect. The design, your rear view is quite impacted, so you may not see at the back very well, which can be a downside. But above all, so it's a nice car. This car doesn't have, you know, the panoramic sunroof, which some of the other models may have, but that's okay. I mean, but the ceiling itself is a nice soft feel, touch. You know, the material, the fabric used here, it's nice. It's not leather again, but it's a nice cloth feature. Obviously your speakers are here, you know, for your telephone system, hands-free, Bluetooth and all that, so that's nice to have as well. Right, guys, now this particular car, the engine and transmission, it's an automatic. The transmission is a 1.6 litre petrol engine, 160 miles top speed, 121 brake horsepower, and also an average will get you from around 40 miles per gallon. So you know, for a city car, this should be okay for a city car, because it's a small engine, it's a 4-cylinder engine, it's small, it's a 1.6, it is automatic, so it should be okay, you know, if you're a city driver, if you're living in a city, so that should be okay. So in terms of speed, I mean, it will be okay on, you know, on normal roads, but if you go on the motorway, you may struggle to pick up that speed, you know, that acceleration. So it really depends on your, you know, what you want, guys. At the end of the day, if you want a small, you know, compact saloon, you know, automatic, quite economical, this should be okay for you. If you want something powerful, as obviously, you know, you might want to step up, you know, to the 2 liters or the diesels of this car, you know, which are available. You know, should you want a more powerful engine, a more pushy, punchy engine. Right guys, in terms of this car's features, as far as climate control is concerned, all the dials of controls are down here. So your front and rear defrost are over here. It is automatic. It is a 2-zone climate control. It's all the way down here. Now these buttons, I mean, they're quite sturdy. I mean, made of plastic. I mean, all of this center bit is made of plastic, but it does work. It's easy reach for the driver. I mean, yeah, I might prefer if this bit was slightly upper, sort of raised up down here somewhere, but it is here, so you may need to reach, but it's fine. It's fine. So down here, guys, it's all your controls for your audio, multimedia. There's no heated seats option on this particular model, obviously, because it's not the higher trim. If this was the AMG, then you probably have your heated seat, which will be down here, these buttons here, but this doesn't have it. But above all, most of the controls are down here. The easy reach is easy to find what you want. It's automatic, so it should be okay for most people in terms of usability and functionality. Right guys, now we're talking about the car infotainment system. Now this car does have a 5.7-inch screen, LCD screen down here, which controls all of your navigation, radio, multimedia, telephone, the vehicle itself, settings. It's not touchscreen. It's controlled by this knob here, this wheel over here. This is made of aluminium, so it's a nice touch. But as I say, so it does control your vehicle. So for example, you can go to vehicle settings, and you can customize it, ambient lighting, interior lighting, and all that. So that's quite nice. That's quite nice to have. In terms of connectivity, guys, so you can connect this car via Bluetooth, from your phone. Which is really easy. It's really snappy. Alternatively, if you want, you can also connect it via your via the auxiliary connection. So that's another connection. But one thing that I don't like about this car is this bezel, these fat bezels here. It's really black. I mean, when it first came out, I liked it, but right now, having this makes it makes the screen look too small, and it's a bit unnecessary. Obviously, the newer models of this car, the 2019s and the 2020s, this is completely changed. It's completely revolutionized. It's much different. But for this car, this is what you get, and it should be okay. For most of your requirements. For listening to music, radio, Navi, multimedia, telephone, it does do the job. It is sufficient. The colors are bright, they're vibrant. So it's really easy. There's no issues that that I can see so far, for myself. Now down here, guys, is all of your controls for your telephone. Now these, as I said earlier, these are quite getting a bit old. I mean, so I saw these dials maybe 10 years ago on Mercs, or more than that. So these are quite old. So Mercedes will probably they have removed these and completely changed or improved the interior design. But on this mode, you do have dials for your telephone, answers and off. So what I'm trying to say here, guys, that you do have buttons here should you need them. I mean, some people like buttons alongside a screen, but some people like a complete touch screen. But this has a mixture. So that's so it's not bad. So altogether. Right, guys. Now in terms of storage in this car, so on the driver's door here, so we have fitted a 1 liter bottle here. I mean, it is quite deep, so it should fit enough, but these sort of water bottles do fit in quite nicely. Now there is storage over here, guys. There's a 12-volt so connection there. There's a bit of storage there. So there's a storage here. It's quite deep. You can fit maybe a bag, tissues or whatnot. There's 2 cup holders here, guys, followed by another storage here under the armrest. This is also quite deep, so you can fit in a few stuff in here, but it's not as big as most of its rivals, but it should be alright. So the glove box, guys, as you can see, I mean, it's a decent size. I mean, it's not that big, it's not that deep, but you can fit some storage as you can see. So it should be okay for most people. Now, so as I said earlier, so this is not a wide car. It's not a big car. It's a compact saloon car. So, but it does have enough storage for most people. Right, guys. So I'm in the back now. So the back seats, so they are quite comfortable. I mean, it's not made out of complete leather. I mean, it's a bit hard, but it should be okay. So this seat here is in my normal driving position, and obviously you can see, there's enough leg room for me here. Now I'm 5'9", and in the headspace here, headroom here, I mean, it's okay. But as I said, this car does have a sloping, design at the back. So that sloping effect, that sloping feature at the back, does eat into headspace. So if you're more than 5'9", around 6 foot, you will struggle here, you know, for headspace. But overall, it should be okay. This car does also have a transmission. Obviously, it's automatic. So if you're sitting in the middle, I mean, this is not quite, you know, this seat here is not that wide. So if I just show you, as you can see there, guys, as you can see, I mean, you know, I would not want to sit here. It's a bit uncomfortable. So on longer journeys, I would not want to be here. But as I said, this car is not a wide car. It's quite a compact car. So you know, for 3 adults in the back, you will struggle. It's not ideal for 3 adults. But one of the things, the other thing is that this car does have Isofix connections, you know, for your child's seats. You know, they're quite, you know, they're really easy to connect. That doesn't have any clippers, you know, that can get lost. You know, so on that end, you should be okay, you know, for your children. Now, one thing that I don't like about this car, which is quite a downside, it doesn't have any armrest. So if you're sitting like this, you know, it doesn't have any armrest here, which is quite a shame because this is a Mercedes. You know, and obviously in these cars are not that cheap, so it doesn't have an armrest. The car doesn't also have any pockets here, you know, air-type pockets here, which you can, you know, fit in your tablets or magazines, which is quite a shame. But on the other hand, so this car, you know, does have, you know, the handles are made out of chrome. You know, that's a premium feel. That's a nice touch, and obviously these made out of chrome here. So all of the windows are all automatic. Obviously these are automatic as well. Obviously the handles are made out of leather. So there are some good features here on this car. There are some downsides. But at the end, ultimately, it will depend on, you know what you like, guys, and, you know, if this car, in terms of its features, exterior design, fits your needs and, you know, and your requirements at the end of the day. Right, guys, what do I think of this car? The thing is, with the CLA, this particular model is a compromise, because although it does have a really cool exterior, it has a really cool sharp look to it. It's really cool. I do really like it. It's sleek. However, it's quite narrow. It's not quite wide, so it does eat into rear capacity at the back. Obviously, the boot is not that big either. It's not a nice square shape compared to its other rivals. But at the end of the day, and so the engine itself is quite economical. It's a 1.6 litre petrol engine, automatic. You know, for a city car, you know, that should be it. It should be all right. And so it does. If it does meet your requirements and your needs, and you like the looks of this car, then you know, this would be a really good car for you. And at the end of the day, this is a Mercedes. So, you know, whether people like it or not, they will like it because of its badge. So hope you like this video, guys. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Subscribe on YouTube, and we'll get more of these cars reviewed, uploaded on YouTube as soon as possible. Thanks very much, guys. Thanks for watching.